All right, let's move the conversation to Nigeria now. The Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday commissioned the Dangote Refinery in Lagos amid hopes of transforming the country into a net exporter of petroleum products. But analysts say that securing crude supplies could delay achieving full production this year. The Dangote Refinery has a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day. Now, according to the president, the refinery is the answer to the persistent fuel shortages in Nigeria, including most recently the run-up to the February presidential election.
Now, Nigeria spent $23.3 billion last year on petroleum products imports and consumes around 33 million liters of petrol per day. Questions about the prospects of the refinery for Nigeria has been asked by many, and this morning we're joined by energy expert Desmond Agboifo to explain and answer some of them. Thank you very much, Mr. Agboifo, for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, and it's so good to be here once again. Very good morning to you all.
Good morning. Now, we've seen so much celebration, and the president has come to commission. We saw the CBN governor. Several people around the world have joined in celebrating this new refinery. But talk to us about what exactly this means for Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. The project has come a long way, and I must congratulate the Dangote Group, and including the person of Mr. Dangote, for putting together this very remarkable project. In fact, President Buhari even made a comment that this is an iconic project to be able to create a lot of benefit in terms of economic and in terms of even fiscal, following the drive of the PIA. It comes at a time where the country is struggling with a lot of issues around trying to create affordable products for the PMS and AGO for the public market to consume. And it also comes at a time where we're struggling with our huge debt burdens as a country. On record, we know that the oil and gas industry generates just about 35 to 50% of our national budget revenues. So it's such a good time to have such a project. There's no better time than this.
Well, I also want you to talk about those who see this as an opportunity to criticize the Nigerian government, for not being able to fix our refineries in, all these years. And, now solely relying on the Dangote refinery. We saw at the launch, government officials, governors, CBN governor, everybody troop in to celebrate, the Dangote refinery. When we've had the Port Harcourt refinery, we've had Warri, we've had Kaduna for decades upon decades, and none of them has been able to, bring any of these back into fruition. So is that a genuine criticism that you would hear from Nigerians that people should actually pay attention to?
Sorry, I could barely hear you. Can you say that again? Sorry.
Talking about, we're basically asking about those who criticize the federal government for celebrating the establishment of the Dangote refinery, knowing that we have had our own home refineries that nothing has been done to. But we've seen how the government has celebrated them. And in addition to that question, we've seen how also, they've been talking about the government lending money to Dangote. And they're saying, when people are struggling to get Forex, but you're giving money to this person to establish it. So do you think that they have an argument in this regard?
Well, first of all, I think the government has got a big role to ensure that our state-owned national oil company gets our refineries up to capacity. And I think the Dangote Group saw that opportunity, not just to be competitive, but also drive value on a national scale to be able to put together what we see as a 650,000 barrels per day refining capacity. And of course, I think I'll take a positive approach to state that the government should see this as a remarkable development, and also should spur them to be a bit much more driven to ensure that we have our refineries working together. And on the fact about the refinery, I mean, it's clear the president, and of course coming from comments from the CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, is stating that the government has committed 300,000 barrels of oil a day to be able to support that project for an exchange of 20% equity. And that comes as a benefit for the public and the private enterprise to be able to work together to sort of address the immediate short-term need while looking at the long-term impact of trying to fix our ailing refineries that has been down for such a long time.
Would you agree that this might be one of the steps towards ending paying petroleum subsidy and refining petrol outside Nigeria? Would the Dangote refinery be able to cater for at least, supply of petrol here in Nigeria?
Well, if I heard you clearly, the Dangote refinery, from the available data we have seen, the refinery will be able to cater for all Nigerian demand for PMS and AGO. Currently, Nigeria demands just about between 60 to 65 million liters a day of PMS, and the refinery will be able to cater for that. For the aviation fuel, about 2 million liters a day, it can be able to cater for that. And all of those very much demanded products, we see that the refinery has huge capacity and even have enough spare capacity to be able to cater for other needs for the neighboring African countries. So yes, the refinery came at a good time. I think it should be able to at least address our short-term, our short-term needs, and also looking to address the long-term problems for our refineries.
Well, addressing our short-term needs and long-term problems isn't a bad idea at all. But let's talk about the job provisions. We've heard that the refinery has the potential to provide about 135,000 jobs. Can you give an idea what specific job opportunities we can be looking at from this establishment of this refinery?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's one of the benefits of having such a huge project somewhere in Lagos State, and I think it will definitely support, first of all, looking at other allied industries that depends, on refinery projects. We see that definitely, for example, having the refinery to be established will reduce the costs of production in other industries that rely on power for the operations and diesel. I think, on the record, this project should be able to reduce our cost of operations to just about 35 to 40%. That's a good thing because power cost is always something around 15-20% of most companies' books. And so having that huge gain, it will be able to add value to the balance sheets and also encourage more businesses to thrive and also create an enabling environment for companies to be able to industrialize and grow the economy on a bigger scale. So to your question around the numbers in terms of workers, prior to this time, the project has given about 40,000 workers, with 11,000 or so of them as foreign contractors. You would agree that most of these projects are they are very high level, they are very skilled, and it was good to have that introduction of the expat approach to be able to build the world refinery. And of course, direct jobs in Nigeria about 30,000. That's during the construction phase. And in full operations, it's also expected to have about 250,000 direct and indirect jobs. And I think that's a fair estimate because, as you're aware, the country's unemployment rate hovers around 40% right now in 2023, and we expect that number to go down appreciably as we look forward to having the refinery come in full swing.
All right. I also want to talk about the expectations of a reduced cost of petrol in Nigeria. We're currently hovering around 185 naira per liter. Will the Dangote refinery and its production in full capacity reduce the price of petrol in Nigeria?
Well, yes. I think it will be a step in the right direction. I don't expect it to have a complete revamp on issues that we see. I think it's a step in the right direction because if you compare what we produce in the country, at best case we probably are doing around 1.5 million barrels a day, and the refinery has its capacity at optimum level about 650,000 barrels. So that's just less than 50% of our national product demand to be refined on that scale. So I think it's a step in the right direction. We expect the government to take that positively to be able to ensure that we keep our part of the bargain fairly. The asset is just not about Dangote. It's also looking to address most of our socio-economic needs as we see as we rely on energy. And of course, looking at the smooth transition plan, we're trying to enable ourselves to transit to a more greener fuel that will keep us a bit more sustainable. So the plan also addresses that need on that scale.
All right. I mean, we've seen the many good signs and the benefits of having this functional private refinery. Now, let's talk about the state-owned refineries. What would you advise the next government, the incoming administration, to do with these refineries? Are we expecting to see them actually, being up and running shortly, or is it going to be business as usual?
Should they also be privatized, maybe?
Well, I think my best advice will always be to grow our efforts to ensure that we manage our assets very carefully. I mean, it's on record. The World Bank has created a couple of reports just all over the media that the way we manage assets in this part of the world, in Africa, not just Nigeria, needs to be improved. So I think my best advice to the incoming government, that's Mr. Tinubu's administration coming in the next few days, is to first of all focus on trying to address the issues around the refineries. I mean, it's been on for a while, and it was the CEO of an NPC stating during the ceremony that Nigeria bleeds about 400 billion a month just to keep aside provisions for subsidy. I think that's almost unnecessary if we ensure that we keep our assets in good shape, and having that impact. I mean, we expect the country to be able to take it positively and also look to work with the private stakeholders and also the private sector to be able to ensure that we keep these refineries in working shape to support the huge effort from Mr. Dangote's group.
Desmond Agbaifo, thank you so much for your time with us this morning, and congratulations to us. A win. This is a win for all of Nigeria. We hope to see the positive impacts that we've all discussed this morning and more to come as a result of the refinery. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much and have a good day. Thank you.
You as well.